Honorable Minister of Tourism, Government of Maharashtra, very dynamic, very abundance in tourism knowledge, and very, very proactive. Under his regime, we have declared policy for agritourism in Maharashtra. We are the first state in India to declare the farm tourism or agritourism policy, and which has already started the implementation. We have 400 and more farmers who have registered for this scheme. And to take the further leap in agritourism, I request Honorable Sir to address the participants and panelists.
धन्यवाद तावडे साहेब. आपण माझं कौतुक करून इंट्रोडक्शन केलं. ह्या स्क्रीनवर दिसणारे नामदार दादा भुसे साहेब, अदितीजी, वलसाजी, सावलकरजी, आशुतोषजी, आपण सगळेच आणि इतर सगळे मान्यवर ज्यांना मी मुंबईत व्हर्च्युअली स्वागत करत आहे. अर्थात व्हर्च्युअली कारण गेले 1 वर्ष आणि आता अजून किती पुढे असंच आपल्याला कदाचित घरात किंवा कदाचित शेतात, कारण मध्ये शहरी भागात तसं फिरणं होणारच नाही. पण मला वाटतं ही कॉन्फरन्स खूप महत्वाची आहे ऍग्री टुरिझम, because when we speak about agri-tourism, we are speaking of a very, very important sector that we are yet to explore in India, in Maharashtra. And I'm really proud that our state, the state of Maharashtra, under the leadership of Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray ji, Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar ji, Revenue Minister Balasaheb Thorat ji, has taken the lead in agri-tourism. We are called a country of agriculture. कृषी प्रधान देश म्हणून आपला देश जगात ओळखला जातो. More than 60% of our population is engaged in agriculture. Maybe a little more fluctuating figure, but a lot of us still have our roots in the rural areas. We mostly recognize our native towns in the rural areas. And when we go back to the rural areas, whoever we might be it a doctor, be it a police person, be it a politician, be it a teacher, be it a corporate, one thing we all enjoy is to step out into the agricultural field, maybe for a walk or for agriculture or for plucking the fruits of the farm whenever we go to places around Maharashtra or be it across India. Another thing I've really noticed is, apart from the agricultural economy, when we go to a couple of hill stations across Maharashtra or India and a couple of other states, we tend to take tourists, and the biggest of the biggest hotel chains tend to take the tourists to a field by the riverside or field by the hill station or hill slopes, where we go and enjoy the fields of agriculture. I think it is very crucial to link both of it, because for us as agriculture, we employ maximum amount of people in our country. It is a sector which is formally and informally working in our country to give maximum growth, maximum produce, and of course an impetus to employment in our country. But when we look at marrying agriculture with tourism, I think that is where the real success would lie, because honestly, tourism is a sponge sector. Just yesterday, Valsa ma'am and I were discussing a couple of points with some of the hoteliers in Maharashtra. Aditi ji and I have been, discussing a couple of more points with the whole service sector, with the hospitality sector. And we've always recognized this sector as a sponge sector. In times of a pandemic where all of us are anxious that whether we will lose our jobs, how can we retain our jobs, how will the economy grow back, will the people ever step out again, how much time will it take for economies to grow, for us to fly to other countries, to other states, when will connectivity be normal again, can we really move around without a mask? I think in such times, one of the solace has been that all of us actually can go to the rural areas, to the countryside, and spend some time in the open fields. I think that is also one of the safest ways of enjoying tourism and travel right now. So when we try to link up agriculture to tourism, the result we would find is tremendous. And this is not something new that we are looking at in Maharashtra, although we are probably one of the first states in India to have a policy, a formal agricultural tourism policy for the same. But this is not something new that we are venturing to. And that is something I'm really thankful about, because the 2-day conference that has been organized by the department and yourself, Taudeji, is very crucial for us to learn. I think one of the biggest things we take away from the pandemic is to always keep learning, listening, and improving ourselves. Therefore, we've got the agriculture department, we've got experts from world over, renowned people in this field who could really guide us to take us to new heights. When we look at countries like Italy, when we look at countries like Spain, or even Bhutan, you have tourism packages that take you right from the airport and the hustle and bustle of the city into the hinterlands, into the countryside, and you can actually enjoy a stroll amongst the cows or the sheep, or even pluck strawberry, or go to a vineyard, or pluck mushrooms, pluck different fields. Like that, if you look at Maharashtra, like Dada Bhuseji was speaking about, the Hurda party. That is one of the things. If you go into Konkan, you have cashews, you have mangoes. If you go into Vidarbh, you'll also find different fruits. I think this is very, very crucial, that we take our rural economy, we take our natural beauty. And very often we say in almost all tourism conferences that Maharashtra, which means the great nation actually, or the great state, it actually has almost everything that we could really imagine in terms of geographical features. We have rivers, we have lakes, we have mountains, we have open areas, we have meadows, we have the coastal side. I think we are a unique state, one of a kind in India. And if we have to take advantage of it in terms of the geographical features, in terms of the climatic features, and put it out to our people to really grow from the features that we have today and the benefits of nature, I think agricultural tourism would be a major, major part of that policy. To be very honest, the rural life that calls out to a lot of people today in times of the pandemic, I think this is an opportune moment for agri-tourism to grow truly in terms of one of the fastest growing sectors in our country. I'm really happy that we have formed a policy on this. Without saying much on this, because there is, of course, I can go on congratulating the department and the people who have got this together, but I think the whole intent of this conference is not to speak, but to listen from people who've had experience in this sector, from people who are experts in the sector, from people like you, Taudeji, and others on the screen who've been promoting the sector for a long, long time. I think the idea for all of us is to humbly take lessons from you, to learn and to grow in coexistence with all of you across all continents around the world. I think now is the time to go back to our roots. We've realized that the pandemic has made us go back to the basics. We were soaring above in the skies, and we thought 2020 would be a year of absolute technology driven things, and we've got back to wearing a mask and washing hands and learning how to wash our hands again. I think it's taking back to the roots. It's very crucial to stay grounded, just like the trees, to have roots below the ground and realize what is happening below us, have feet on our ground and go forward. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Vande Mataram.